Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. While we're waiting for a few more people to join, I wanted to remind you of a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar is being recorded. We will certainly provide each of you a follow-up email and a link to that recording so you can review some of the details and perhaps share it with colleagues who may be interested in some of the topic matters as well. We will have a little bit of time towards the end of the webinar for questions and answers. By all means, though, please feel free to type your questions into the chat window on the left-hand side of the screen as we go, and we'll be sure to address those either in context or when we get to the end if we haven't addressed it already. Okay, with that said, quick introductions. Hello, my name is Duncan Smith. I'm the Business Development Lead for the Dynamics CRM and Dynamics 365 practice here at New Signature. I'm joined today by Jovana Kristic, one of our solution architects, and Jim Hayes, another one of our solution architects, both whom are specialists in the Dynamics 365 field. In terms of the agenda today, I'm going to start by introducing our topic and provide a little bit of context, give you a little bit of insight into what's happening in the market around CRM and kind of an overview of this relatively new thing called Dynamics 365. And then we're going to dive into the specific topic for today, which is Dynamics 365 sales and looking at some of the new features for customer and relationship management in the product. So Jovana is going to talk us through some of that, and then we'll hand it over to Jim, who's going to provide us with a more hands-on demo. And by all means, again, please feel free to type any questions that you have in the chat window as we go along. Okay, so as I indicated, I wanted to spend just a few minutes touching upon some of the trends that are really sort of impacting the demand for more sophisticated and more integrated tools for customer relationship management and service management. I think it's fair to say that we've all seen a change in the way that companies approach engagement with their customers. I think the rise in mobile technologies and social and the internet, more broadly speaking, have really impacted the way that customers are now approaching their buying decisions and interacting with their brands. And the suggestion here is that really the differentiator moving forward is going to be less and less about price and the specifics of the product that you have, and more will be focused on that customer experience. And that customer experience, begins right from the initial impression that your customers have through that sales process and further on into customer service, and obviously beyond into support and renewal of services or purchasing of additional products. And then the real challenge, I think, that a lot of companies are faced with today is how to manage this increased demand from customers, given the finite amount of resources that we're all working with, and really trying to figure out ways to improve efficiency, whether it be through automated business processes or more integrated tools that help sales and customer service be more productive. And last but not least is just the general increase in the speed at which businesses transact. We are obviously living in a much faster and more fast-paced world than we were only a few short years ago. And this is, again, I think, putting a lot of pressure on organizations to be able to pivot faster and get access to information that can help them make decisions and really gain insights to be more ahead of the curve and more responsive to those ever-changing needs of their customers. As a result, we've seen a lot of uptake in the CRM market. There's a lot of continued growth, both as a product segment across CRM, and specifically for Microsoft in terms of the pace at which they are growing their share of the market as well. And interesting to note that while companies like Salesforce still have a strong foothold, Microsoft is starting to gain on that, and the rate at which CRM, specifically Dynamics CRM, is growing has increased significantly over the past year. Microsoft has, I think, a very compelling vision for Dynamics. If any of you have been following Satya, have tuned into the Ignite conference or any of the recent announcements around Dynamics 365, you'll know that Microsoft's vision is really about Dynamics at the center of the company. And I think this sort of aligns well with this idea that a more customer-centric, a more sort of people-centric engagement model is really driving growth and differentiation amongst a lot of companies these days. But more to the point, I think it's important to acknowledge that what is CRM, what we sort of traditionally think of as CRM, is evolving and is certainly changing. And with the announcement of Dynamics 365, it's pretty clear that Microsoft is now breaking down those traditional silos between what is commonly thought of as CRM versus ERP. And this allows for some really interesting new end-to-end scenarios, which will presumably allow customers to drive deeper engagement, better integration, and sort of unlock that end-to-end value when when dealing with their customers. And so, as you can see here, there is quite a portfolio now of business applications included in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 suite. Some of these are what you would refer to as sort of traditional CRM type of capabilities. So sales, Salesforce automation, and delivering that really cutting edge customer experience through more collaborative and more robust capabilities, often backed now by things like advanced analytics and other productivity tools in the stack. Customer service obviously is also sort of a traditional CRM capability as well. But we also have some newer capabilities, things like field service and project service automation. And there's also been some interesting announcements recently about the partnership that Microsoft now has with Adobe, and sort of more digital, more social, and sort of more omni-channel capabilities around marketing, planning, and execution as part of that capability. But the one I think that has really sort of caught people's attention is this idea of integrating operations, or this sort of traditional ERP suite of capabilities into Dynamics 365. And for those of you who are familiar with Microsoft Dynamics, you may be familiar with AX. And so essentially what operations is AX7 in the cloud. Microsoft has ported that framework and that platform, and now has made connections into the rest of what was formerly CRM Online to effectively create this bundled business application platform, now referred to as Microsoft Dynamics 365. So with the sort of launch and introduction and sort of evolvement of the platform and the product strategy, Microsoft has also introduced some new pricing and packaging for for the SKUs. We're not going to go in deep here today. We really just don't have sufficient time. But it's important to note that, generally speaking, licensing in Dynamics 365 is still based on the user role. But in this case, we now have sort of two categories, if you would, or two flavors of licensing. There's the light user, and then there's the full users. And light users really are those people who just need more or less read access. Potentially, they're doing time entry. They have, need to update, a couple of fields here or there. They're really just, more sort of consuming and potentially running reports rather than working through the business processes contained within the actual applications. So the full users, however, have essentially two ways to now purchase. There is the a la carte or apps mode of transacting, where you're essentially deciding, oh, we want sales, or we want field service, or we want customer service as the specific capability within Dynamics 365. Or alternately, you can look to purchase one of the enterprise plans. And this is effectively similar to the E1, E3 SKUs that you may be familiar with in Office 365, where Microsoft is now sort of bundling a bunch of discrete apps into a packaged offering. And there are effectively two plans, one that includes operations and one that does not. By all means, if you have additional questions around Office 365, Dynamics 365 and the licensing, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can have some follow-on conversations regarding that. Okay, I want to move now into the specific topic at hand here, which is really sort of a deeper look at the value proposition around Dynamics 365 for sales. And I think that while CRM, the platform, is very mature, and there are a lot of deep capabilities that enable salespeople and relationship managers to have more engaging and more proactive touch points and conversations with their customers. Where I think that the real value is here for a lot of customers is in the integration of the broader Microsoft stack, and really sort of harnessing that power of Office 365, the additional capabilities of productivity that Microsoft has made available through integration, with document management or email, for example. Even some of the more exciting advancements in Office 365, things like groups, and also equally, if not more important, the integration and sort of advancement of Power BI and Cortana Intelligence to really make for a more sort of predictive and prescriptive experience within Dynamics 365 for those people who are really engaged in sales and driving those conversations with customers. And so with that said, what I want to do is turn it over to Jovana to talk to us through in a little bit more detail the scenario that we have in mind for today's demonstration.
Thanks, Duncan. So given that we only have about 15 minutes for the demo, we wanted to make sure that we immediately move into discussing Microsoft capabilities and how we can bring value to your sales organization. We'll try to showcase Dynamics 365 for sales from the perspective of a relationship manager. So the scenario we'll demo today is based on the most common pain points we hear from our clients. What you see on this slide is nothing new. What's new are the enhancements and some functionality that Microsoft has added to Dynamics 365, and I will talk about those on the next slide. So the most common pain points are that information is siloed. Go back. and it's kept in multiple spreadsheets, network drives, and various document sites. All of our clients have identified that they would like to have a system that provides a centralized one-stop shop for accessing and capturing customer information. Every relationship manager wants a centralized system and a 360-degree view of customers. The next pain point is that there are too many manual processes that slow the sales cycle and lead to missed opportunities. This translates into lost revenue and reduced profitability, and we'll show you how Dynamics 365 can automate processes and avoid missed opportunities. And then finally, governance. Relationship managers want better governance over the sales process and to ensure standard procedures are consistently followed.
Hey, I think we might have lost Jovana. Jovana, are you still there? Sorry for the disruption, folks. While we wait for
I'm
Jovana...
back.
Oh, she's back. Awesome.
I apologize. I don't know what happened. So let's talk about the scenario that we're going to walk through today. So we'll show you the latest Dynamics 365 environment where all these applications that are on the slide are designed to work together. They're not just integrated. So deep integration between Dynamics 365 and Office 365 connects the structured workflow of business applications and processes with the unstructured work of collaboration and productivity. So we'll take a look at how we can work with full CRM and Outlook, and both desktop and online are available. For the purposes of the demo, we'll look at the online version. We'll show tracking, setting regarding, and accessing information in CRM app for Outlook. With the CRM app, a relationship manager can now perform all tasks equally as in Dynamics 365, so ensuring that the one source of truth is updated and everyone has access to this information in real time. The app for Outlook has been enhanced, and the user can now create activities such as phone calls and tasks, all without leaving the inbox. We're going to move then to Dynamics 365 and show you what the latest release looks like. Touch briefly on document management. Releases, there is deep integration with SharePoint, where all documents are saved. An advantage of this is that it allows users that may not have access to Dynamics to still have access to the documents. We'll show how to work with automated sales processes. We'll show you how to enforce defined steps and business rules for governance. And finally, Relationship Insights, which is a new feature in Dynamics 365. So how to mine the data in Exchange and CRM to receive valuable insights, such as if there is an intention to buy. Relationship Insights surfaces this information in the form of cards, and Jim will show you that. And then finally, how to be connected while on the road. So tracking accounts and opportunity changes and taking early actions via the mobile app. And with this, I will hand it over to Jim to take us through the demo.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm now sharing my screen. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jovana. Thank you, Duncan. So this is Office 365. Hopefully, many of you are already on this. I'm just going to move into Mail right now. Obviously, your Outlook client will work in much the same way. We'll talk a little bit about the differences once we get to that. But we're going to start with a customer service rep. Veronica is the persona that's been created for this, and she's working with a client whose contact name is Alex, so we'll kind of start through that. So I have a specific email that I received that I want to start taking action on, and so I actually have marked it. It's right here.
Jim, sorry to interrupt, Jim. We're not seeing your screen here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So let me try this one more time. says it's connecting. How about now?
It's loading now. We should be good. One more try.
Okay. Hopefully a third time's the charm, right? It's not. Let's try this.
While we're waiting for Jim, any questions so far? Anybody have any things they want to clarify before we get started with the demo?
Yeah, Neil, thanks. I'm trying various things, and it's not happy with me here. I apologize. It works well in our practice. Um, yeah, Duncan, I'm not sure what we want to do at this point.
You have do you have access to the demo environment? Do you want to try maybe sharing from your screen?
I don't have it right now. I would have.
I've tried multiple times. What about GoToMeeting? Now that's a good one. Okay, so here's some points that I want to make since while I'm doing this. So those of you that have worked in the past with the CRM client for Outlook will find the new app very refreshing. Basically, what it allows you to do is work within the email itself, which is what I was going to demonstrate. And instead of worrying about what buttons to click on the top bar, which you used to do, you're just working within the email. And so that allows you to connect there. And you can also do appointments from within the Outlook client. You can do tasks within the Outlook client. And you can do appointments, tasks, and phone calls within the Outlook client. And then there's also links to click right into the specific opportunity that you're linking to within that email. So you can get right in and start working. The other thing that is really big is relationship insights, which there's a lot of ways that you can implement it. One of the things that we turned on was just making the user aware of opportunities. They're coming up to a close date, and so those are surfaced throughout wherever you're at. at the level that you're at. So if you're at an opportunity, obviously it will relate to that opportunity. If you're in an account, it will relate across opportunities in that account. And then if you go to one of the sales dashboards, it will go across all your accounts. And then, of course, there's the Dynamics 365 app, which has a new look and feel as well. You can use that on your smartphone or your tablet. There's things there like you can follow up and follow up a meeting with notes. It keeps the history that you had, whether that was within the Outlook client, whether it was within the CRM web client, keeps that history there for you that you can go in and do that. There's an example of how that looks. So someone is rescuing me here.
So I'm trying. Okay, so I logged in. Sorry. Can you see my screen? So this is what it looks like in Outlook. This is what Jim was talking about. We went to an email. We have access to Dynamics 365, full access with the ability to retrieve information from within Outlook. So you're looking at latest activities. You have the ability to track. Top right-hand corner, it says track. We're going to track this. Jim, I don't know if you want to continue walking us through this. So now it's
track, and we were going to do the audio format, and so we're going to click on the audio format right there, up a little bit, down a little bit now. Yep. And then if you hit the little plus there above the date, so it's going to say it's linked up. We'll see that we can get in through there. You can add the appointment, the phone call, etc. If we click on audio format, go ahead and click on audio format. Sorry to make you drive like this, Jovana. It will take us into the sales app, as now it's referred to. Used to be, Dynamics CRM Online, and will take us right into that opportunity. And once we get in there, we can see a couple things. We can see activities. So if we click on, well, that's good too. The relationship assistant shows you what's going on. Notice since we're here, it just talks about this opportunity. If you go to activities, it has the email already linked up. So everyone else who has access to this can now see it. It's no longer just in our email box. So if we go up to the account, so we click on Northwoods Traders, it takes us to the account level. And what we'll see there is we actually have insights across all the different opportunities. If we go to activities, we'll see the activity from the opportunity rolling up. It also allows us to see all the contacts, recent opportunities, and if you're using the customer service app, it also shows recent cases, so that as a sales rep, you have all of that information with you and accessible when you go out to the client. And I don't know if you want to go back down to the opportunity and show the documents. That's about all we were going to show there. And then we were going to show the Dynamics 365 app, but I don't think we have time for that today, so apologize.
So I just want to highlight that this is brand new functionality. This is the relationship assistant. These are the cards that we were talking about earlier, where you can remind you of the next step, or what in how to proceed, or the most immediate, next step to move the opportunity forward.
So the Dynamics app is very good because the relationship assistant also goes over into that. So you'll see those in there. It has a very responsive design. So whether you're on a tablet or you're on a smartphone, you can kind of roll across on it and see all the different parts of a contact or an account or an opportunity. So those are all there. Are you going to try to rescue me on that one too?
I am going to show, I am. So let's quickly show where access to document management while the mobile app is loading, and then we can go to, so I'm going to open any opportunity here. Jim?
Yes, the one that I had a document in was the audio format. Is the one that we have a document in. But basically, you can see here how you can upload documents here. As Jovita mentioned, if you have the integration with SharePoint set up, it's automatically saved over into SharePoint. So those of you who use SharePoint know that you could do things like alerts. You could do approvals over there if you wanted to, and other workflows as well. So there's a lot of things you can leverage on the SharePoint side if you decide to do so. And as Jovita mentioned as well, people who don't necessarily have access to Dynamics 365 can have access to those documents in SharePoint if you allow them to do so.
And if you'd like to talk about the working while on the go.
So as you can see, you have the relationship insights here, and relationship assistance, so those are all there. It also reminds you of meetings that you may have as well. You have the history that we talked about that goes across all the different clients, so you can jump back into something that you were just working on your desktop. And it has kind of some hot buttons at the bottom where you have new activity, et cetera, et cetera. So if we go to update client, for instance, and we type the client that we were working with, which is Alex Wu. So if we type in Wu or Alex, either one, or just look there. So we can click on Alex. And we can put it as a mobile phone number. We'll just put it in as 555-777 or whatever you want to put. Go ahead. You make up a number. Just make sure it's not a real one. Because we'll get in trouble. So as we go through that and we finish it, it'll allow you to see what I mentioned about the contact card and how it's a very responsive design that kind of rolls across. So if you can just do done on that, we should go to that, the contact. This is very similar as well. If you click on, like, for instance, any of the opportunities or contacts.
So here's Alex.
Yeah, there you go. There's Alex. So if you click on Alex, you'll see it's a little bit laid out a little bit differently so that you can kind of move around it with touch. And obviously, this lends more to a responsive design, so obviously less panels would show on a mobile phone than it would be on a desktop like this. So pretty sure that's all I wanted to cover in my demo, and I appreciate Jovita jumping in. Apologize for the technical difficulties on my side, and I want to turn back to Duncan and see what other questions may be out there.
Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate everyone's patience with our technical hiccups today. By all means, we would be more than happy to repeat this in a smaller, sort of more intimate environment. If you would like to go a little bit deeper into the capabilities around Dynamics 365 for sales, please feel free to reach out to us. Also, any questions that you may have, you can hit us up at info@newsignature.com. Quick reminder that we will be sending out the follow-up email, and in that email you'll see some additional information regarding the next webinar that we have for this series, at which point we're going to go a little bit deeper into customer service as the next Dynamics 365 workload that we want to cover, and that's going to be scheduled for May 23rd. So again, thanks everyone for your patience today. Really appreciate you hanging in there. And by all means, please do reach out to us with any questions, and we'll be happy to further the conversation with you at that time.